Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical, Russ Belville.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
I don't know. You told me to find some other stuff, so this is one of the other stuffs.
That's from Godfather.
Yeah, it's a Godfather ringtone.
Oh, okay.
What the hell? It's Friday. Pulling up all sorts of interesting things in the cart machine. Welcome, it's Toker Talk Radio, and it's Friday. It's kind of casual Friday. It's just gonna loosen the tie, chill out a little bit. I'm here with Brian the Red.
Hey.
And we got Leftwing Larry stopping in.
there.
It's because Larry wants to play show and tell. Is that right, Larry?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get a shot on Larry here. So Larry here has been growing, 4 seedlings?
Actually, you got 10 up there.
10?
Yeah,
10.
there were 10.
Lord. All right. Oh, that's right, because we had the seed pack.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us our grow report.
They are coming right along as I would expect them. This is week 3, I think it is?
Yeah.
3 weeks? Yeah. And have you shown it yet today?
Nope. Here we go. We'll switch to Bud Cam. So there we go. And to the right, we have the magic butter machine, so you could get some idea of scale, right? And to the left, is that the tallest seedling at this point?
Actually, that's midpoint.
Oh, that's a median one.
That's a medium
halfway
one.
through.
Oh, very nice. A little bit of plant going on in here. That's very sweet.
Right. Hopefully, in about let me see, 4, 6. About 10 to 12 weeks, we should have some bud.
All right. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, they say houseplants are good for your disposition, so
Right.
hey.
Hell yeah.
And I've got 10 roommates. Actually, 11 counting my dog.
Yeah. So, right. And can't tell anything about sex on the plants at this point, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you could, in another couple of weeks, throw them into a flower cycle and then shock them back to veg. But,
yeah.
We'll just wait and see.
All right. Well, we also have this to attend to. That's right. It's time for Fan Friday Trivia,
where you can win a classic edition of High Times Magazine.
That's right. Gotta put on the game show voice, right?
Yeah.
Gotta pull that pop filter back just a bit. All right, so let me grab this. Grab the previous one. All right. So, Fan Friday Trivia, we've been doing our trivia contest, which is I'll ask a question and then you email in the answer. And
you got a week to find the right answer.
Is this like the third one we've done, I think?
This is going to be the third one, the third week.
I think so. All right.
Oh, no, fourth week.
Fourth week.
Well, this is the third one we're giving away on the trivia thing. This is going to be the fourth week.
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let me...
you guys are keeping that straight.
Let me pull up my list. Okay, so you're right. And plus, we had the impromptu one we did last night, that Canny one. Yeah. All right, so Our first Fan Friday trivia, we asked what was the first state to decriminalize, or what was the first state to prohibit marijuana in the United States, and what year? And that was Massachusetts, 1911. And I'm reading these out to see if my chat room will correct me on any of these, because I just now wrote it down today, and I'm just going off memory, and I smoke a lot of pot, so check me out. So
no, you don't smoke any pot.
A little bit.
What's pot?
A little bit, just a little bit. So Greg Holmes won that one, and then the second, that was an August 1975 issue we gave away. Our second question was, which state has the biggest decrim amount, and how much is it? Mm-hmm. And that was Ohio at 100 grams. You can have 100 grams in Ohio, and it's still just a ticket. Gothic Prophet won that, which was the May 75 High Times that had the Star Trek
Stoner Prize.
That's right, the Starship Stoner Prize.
Loved it.
Centerfold. Canny won yesterday. We had an impromptu contest because we went to the dispensary in Portland and picked up a half ounce of Sativa Dominant, a quarter ounce
of Indica Dominant,
a
gram of Shatter from the Sativa Dominant, and then 2 joints and about 1.5 grams of what was that other one? The skunk. It was probably
Mystery Bud.
That's right. It was a sativa hybrid.
Yeah, and so she guessed as closest without going over, and the price was $170 for all of that. So now we get to today's contest, and for today's contest, the winner will receive the December 75, January 76 High Times magazine, the Christmas edition, the first double issue. Still has the subscription card in it.
Oh, that'll be coming with it.
Got to keep that.
Yep.
Subscription card.
You might want to send it in.
See where it ends up. And so our question was,
it'll still end up in New York.
Had to do with one of the pioneers in activism, and that was Pauline Sabin, who formed an organization to fight alcohol prohibition. And shortly after just 4 years after she formed that organization, alcohol prohibition was repealed.
Done.
Now, the correct answer and our winner when we come back here on Toker Talk Radio. I know, it's such a tease.
You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you don't just want any attorney. You want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Lauren Vasquez knows the details of California marijuana law from both a personal and professional angle. Lauren Vasquez rose from the ranks of college normal activists to become one of the Bay Area's best marijuana lawyers. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your Fired Up Lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com. The number again is 855-MMJ-LAWS, 855-665-5297 for your Fired Up Lawyer, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren Vasquez is an activist attorney you can trust. Call today. 420 Radio, your ticket to the Boston Freedom Rally. Hey, Tokers and Tokettes, Radical Russ here to introduce you to my friend Matt and all the staff at Lush LED Lighting. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. If you thought LEDs were meet the tech of today, Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Let's just say I appear at a lot of events with the masters of indoor horticulture, and the harvests I saw from Lush LED lighting were big, tight, sticky, and very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you. Double your rewards and lower your expenses with Lush LED Lighting.
Wow, that almost feels like you're having your head scanned, doesn't it? This is what it must have sounded like in the planetarium.
I have a rare bone disease that doesn't allow me to pronounce the T in planetarium.
Welcome to Toker Talk Radio, and it's Friday, and we're feeling a little goofy. But hey, it's Casual Friday. Welcome
to Radio.
Speaking of goofy, how about handing me that bong?
There we go. So we're hanging out, and we were discussing Fan Friday trivia, and so we have our answer and our winner. It was, what was the name of the group that Pauline Sabin formed that shortly thereafter led to the end of alcohol prohibition?
Drum roll.
And the answer is the Women's Organization for National Prohibition Reform. And our winner is John Wanless is our winner.
Oh.
John, congratulations. You won the December issue there. High Times Magazine, which has a pretty funny Santa cartoon in their thing.
Oh, it's friggin' hilarious. Actually, I was just looking up an article, Jimson Weed, the world's worst dope. I wanted to see what the world's worst dope was about, because it might be high CBD, you never know.
But the Santa pictures were pretty funny. Santa flipping off
classic.
the viewer.
What I thought was funny was that Santa had tits.
Yeah, that was a little annoying. Like, that threw me off a little bit. All right, so now it's time for our new Fan Friday trivia. So we got another trivia question for you. And the winner of this one will get this August 1976 issue of High Times. Now, this kind of gives you an idea of how High Times has changed and how the culture has changed a bit. Because, you know, the cover stories are leather, sex, and mushrooms. The case for Valium, Poppy Time, the story of O, Poppy Time in Laos, Pulque, Booze of Brujos, and Daredevil Dope Runners, right? So, like, you know, High Times now is like all weed and tiniest bit mushroom. Mm-hmm. But this was all, you know, cocaine, Valium, pills, anything. High Times used to be just about getting high, however you got high, right? But it shifted a lot after the 80s, you know. But anyway, the cover here is what I think will stand out. We've got the goddess Shiva, right? Where they got the 6-arm kind of thing going on. But it's this woman in black leather bustier and the fishnet stockings, and she's holding, what she got? A beer? Some... Oh, I don't know if that's cocaine or mushrooms, but whatever it is. A whip? What are the red spotted things? Are those amarina?
Oh, yeah, those are mascaria.
Mascarians? Uh-huh. All right. So...
What? Wait, why do you always let me identify...
Well, I didn't want to be, you know.
Just assume that I know.
Got the Job papers on the back, cartoons, the old cartoons they used to have. The case for Valium, a big... Oh, and Nepalese, what is this? Nepalese temple balls.
Oh, yeah.
Nepalese temple balls.
Ooh, yeah, that's the good Nepalese hash. That's the hand rolled off the hands.
Oh, very nice. All right, so
the good stuff.
That's what you'll win. You'll win that High Times magazine, plus you'll win some 420 Radio Russ Belva Show stickers, some cards, and I went through my collection of stickers that I get handed to me at these different events. I'm going to start throwing some random stickers in these things when I mail them out. So there we go. So here's our question. The Fan Friday trivia question today is, what was the first state to pass medical marijuana through legislation, not initiative, and what year?
Aha!
First state to pass medical marijuana through initiative, through legislation, through its legislature, not an initiative.
Aha!
And what year? So send those answers in to Russ at radicalruss.com, and that will be the perfect. That'll be the way to get your entry in. We'll take all of the correct answers, randomly select somebody to win, and we will mail that out to you. Thanks for being our fans. We appreciate you. All right, let's turn it over to the final interview from the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup. I was in the middle of talking, and this woman stood right straight smack dab in front of me. And she kind of had that, let's just say the chola look, like the painted on eyebrows and the very stark makeup kind of thing. And I recognized her. I just didn't know where from. And I later remembered that she's kind of a fashion designer. Yeah. So
and I wanted to present
here
one
she
of them
is.
to you.
Okay.
That I just came out with, which is the cannabis coloring book. And the cannabis coloring book are all my renderings of cannabis in the coloring book format.
One of your friends brought one by for me yesterday. I took a look at it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the company president that brought you over the copy.
Cannabis coloring book,
Yeah.
Volume 1, Issue 1, and it costs,
And
wait
it costs,
for it,
wait,
$4.20.
$4.20, of course, because that's the price of a coloring book that has to do with cannabis.
Now, I'm really happy to see in the inside cover here that 20% of the profits here are going for the Cash Hide Foundation.
That's correct, sir. 20% of the profits are going towards the Cash Hide Foundation because of the fact that when I first thought of this idea, the reason that I really pushed forward with the coloring book idea was because I saw Cashy's story.
Yeah.
And it took me about 3 years to actually come out with the concept to actually print it and have a product that I was going to be happy that other audience members were actually going to enjoy as well too.
Yeah, and we've got various varieties in here. There's a Granddaddy Purple. There's a Sour Diesel in here. I'm just thumbing through some of them.
There's a Sativa Queen. Some of them don't actually have names. I didn't get the name of it, and I was like, you know what? It's inspiring. I just saw it like on IG one day, and I'm like, I want to draw that.
Very good. And Word Search.
Word Search.
Dot to Dots and Amaze.
Well, there's a, it's actually Connect the Pot.
Oh, Connect the Pots?
Connect the Pot.
Oh,
you know?
I get it.
You know what
Connect
I mean?
the Pot.
Yeah.
And also good information here on the back, a nice timeline of the legal history of cannabis. So you get, more than just color, you get information.
Yeah, you get something that's educational and valuable, and it's only the first volume, first issue. So I'm looking to really involve other people in the future issues, to involve more people who have a lot more information that they want to go ahead and render in the coloring book, and they want to be involved with future publications.
Yeah.
Because we want to make this educational, we want to make this informative, we want to make this something that the people out there will be able to pass down even to their children. I want you to be able to share this publication with your kids. I do. I want you to actually present this to them with the knowledge of knowing that it is something that we're progressing with, and that it is something that it is respected, and it's not something to be, misinformed. Misinformation is so much out there, and proper education is so much vital.
Do you ever get any pushback on it being a coloring book and, oh my God, marijuana and kids?
Yeah, cannabis coloring. I just actually debuted it this week on Wednesday. I mean, I already know that I'm going to get that rebuttal.
Sure.
But what is wrong with education? That's the one thing. Are we afraid to educate each other about the truth? Because that's what we conflict each other with. That a lot of people don't want to know about GMOs because they don't want to know that everything they've ever been eating is a lie. And that's one of the things that I don't want to know. I'd rather not know. I'd rather not know that cannabis is good for you, and I'd rather not tell my kids that it's something that they actually can consider, but it's not something to introduce to kids with favoring it like that. It's to educate them. It's to educate the fact that I'm trying to end the negative stigma against cannabis. And I want it to be different. I want it to be educational. I want it to be informative. I don't want it to misinform. I don't want it to lead people in the wrong misconception that what we're doing is just for fun. We're doing this for future generations, for them to be able to have something that we've been limited on for a long time that is actually really good and dear to us.
Well, I'm really glad you're doing it, and I'm glad the Cash Hide Foundation gets some benefit from that.
Thank you
again, and tell folks again your name and any website if people want to get in touch with you.
Definitely. My name is Cushed Out, and I'm the artist behind Cushed Out Fashions and the Cannabis Coloring Book. I started that a couple years ago as well, too, so you could go ahead and check out KOF420.com. That's cough. 420.com, and that has all my information, my clothing line, the coloring book, and the jewelry line that I also go ahead and make.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much,
Out, for
Russ.
joining us, and thank you. The coloring book looks great, and we look forward to all your great work that you're doing. Thanks a lot. We're returning to some music now here on our 420 Radio. Yeah, it was nice to see Cushed out again. Very nice lady, and coloring book was very nice. And I haven't checked her fashions out yet, but you can find her at KOF420 on Twitter. It's 20 after. It's 420. We got to take a break. It's union rules. They make us. Ow.
Funny reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
I'm Radical Russ Belville, and I want to thank you for listening to 420 Radio. We couldn't survive without you and our sponsors, and I'd like you to check out one of our prime sponsors, the National Cannabis Coalition. I've been working with NCC since June of 2012, and I'm proud to be part of the team they have assembled. National Cannabis Coalition is building the partnerships with reformers, lawmakers, and industry we need to be successful. Visit the National Cannabis Coalition website at nationalcannabiscoalition.com or the easier-to-remember ncc420.com. That's where you'll get the exclusive first look at my radical rants, as well as informative articles from the nation's top cannabis pundits. Visit ncc420.com today, and if you have your phone handy, text Russ to 420-420 to support NCC and 420 Radio. It's a free text message that helps us help you end adult marijuana prohibition. Learn more at ncc420.com, and thanks for supporting independent marijuana legalization public radio.
I'm Sub Cool from Team Green Avenger. At TGAgenetics.com, we are working on the leading edge of medical strains. Our strains are rigorously tested for THC, CBD, THCV, and other critical cannabinoids. Know your grow. Check out our genetic diversity at TGAgenetics.com, the home of Jelly Bean, Jack the Ripper, Vortex, and other award-winning cannabis strains.
The Russ Belville Show brings you the best in daily Toker tunes every weekday. Each day features a different genre, including Roots Monday,
Folks, here's a story about Minnie the Moocher,
Electric Tuesday, Irie Wednesday,
Summer ganja planter, call me the ganja farmer.
Groovin' Thursday, and Rockin' Friday. Then on weekends, we mix them all together in our weekend music party.
Let's take a trip to examine this common basis of life, a voyage to investigate the molecular machinery at the heart of life on Earth.
All life is related, and it enables us to construct with confidence the complex tree that represents the history of life. Our planet.
Welcome back, everyone. 23 after the hour. Of course, that opened up with Carl Sagan, and that's music from Melody Sheep, who remixes all these great scientists into what he calls Symphony of Science. You can find a Melody Sheep channel out on YouTube. We play a lot of these, especially on Tuesdays, on our Electric Tuesdays. And it reminds me, I was surfing through the net, Facebook, I think it was, and one of my friends had posted this great picture that was a pentagram. The satanic pentagram? But it had Carl Sagan in the middle of it. It said, "Hail Sagan." I thought that was cute. That's my kind of humor, though, so there you go.
Oh, the nerd.
Oh, the nerd in me, that's right.
Yeah.
So, if you missed it earlier, Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, I did a rant earlier today on Scott Walker, and I just wanted to elaborate. It was kind of a mini rant, so I had to go try to cram a lot of stuff into 4 minutes, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, because it's something that it's the next thing we have to kind of tackle in the fight for our liberty. And that is, first we got to not be criminals. That's the first step. Okay, let's not be criminals anymore. That'd be great if we weren't criminals anymore.
That'd be great.
But moving out of criminality, there's still another step. We still have to gain equality. To me, we're not done until we are the equals of beer drinkers and cigar smokers. right? I understand like some of the limits and social norms that have to do with cigars should also apply to marijuana because cigars are stinky. Marijuana's stinky.
Well, they smoke for them.
Well, right. And for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to say smoking pot. We're going to stick with smoking because there's vapes.
Yeah.
But you know,
smoking a joint, smoking a blunt, smoking a pipe.
We'll stick with the smoking of pot. So yeah, there's a parallel with cigars in that they're stinky and they can annoy some people, right? So I can understand there being places where we're not allowed to smoke pot, but they should be the same places we're not allowed to smoke cigars. And also, where we're allowed to smoke cigars, we should be allowed to smoke pot. Yeah. Now, there's another consideration that cigars don't have, and that is that smoking pot, especially if you're a noob, right? If this is a brand new thing to you, is mind altering and changes your perceptions and impairs you to some extent. So, in that respect, it's somewhat similar to alcohol. Not as bad, not even a tenth as bad, but somewhat, at least conceptually, that we have to frame it in how do we control human beings who are altering their consciousness. Again, not as badly as alcohol. So there should be some restrictions like cigars. There should be some restrictions like alcohol. And between those two things, I think we can find where marijuana smoking belongs socially. But at this point, even as it's legal, we're not there. Marijuana is, no public view. We cannot see you in public view ever smoking pot. Why? It's a legal activity.
They don't want to acknowledge it.
Well, they don't want to acknowledge it, and they'll play the little card of, the children will see it and it'll be normalized. Well, yeah, it's legal.
Yeah, when I was growing up, you couldn't have a beer out in public on the street. Now they have sidewalk bars,
That's right. And that's the development we need to get to. And carefully and cautiously, we don't want to, freak out parents or anything like that everybody's going to be smoking pot everywhere. But again, like beer, when I go out in the summertime, there are places that have beer gardens outside. Now, it's kind of roped off.
Yeah.
And, they have like maybe a wristband thing, you got to show ID and get your wristband. So when the officials are walking around and see people with cups of beer in their hands, they automatically know whether or not they're old enough to have that in their hands. Sure. Now, are kids seeing people drink alcohol? Take drugs? Do the kids see people getting drunk? Getting high? Right? It's the same thing. So what's the big deal that we might offer that same perspective with respect to marijuana?
Yeah. Oh, well, then the kids might think that it's okay. And then they'll know that, we've been lying to them and their parents and their grandparents and their grandparents' parents.
And that's it. It's face saving. It's a cultural face saving here for all the prohibitionists for all these years. All right, well, we won't arrest you or bust you anymore, but we'll still treat you like second-class citizens. All right, well, you won't be slaves anymore, but we'll still have Jim Crow laws. This is what's going on here is we're continuing to be discriminated against.
Yeah, it's like not even second class in some places. No class.
No class. You like a teacher in the summertime.
Yeah, school like school in the summertime.
Because you got no class.
So,
but this is a situation that, is exemplified in the remarks of Governor Scott Walker, when he parrots this Linklaterian ideal that somehow alcohol is not a drug. Somehow the people that are using alcohol, it's all culture.
Yeah, that's why people chug cough syrup.
And this is where it gets it's frustrating to me, having been involved in the marijuana culture deeply now for about 10 years, and prior to that, having been a bar musician for 15 and been around people in bars. And so I get to directly compare the culture of bars to the culture of the most intense, heavy pot smokers in the world, and I will take the pot smokers every time.
We've had some good smoke sessions, haven't we, Russ?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I remember some cloudy rooms. Man, those old meetings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even with the doors and windows open, you couldn't... Yeah, anyway.
So this is where it's necessary for us to rebut these outrageous slurs like what Scott Walker says, Where, you know, people at a wedding reception, this is basically what he had said, was people at a wedding, you might see people at a wedding reception drinking alcohol, and they're not there to get drunk, they're just being social, but you wouldn't see people at a wedding reception smoking marijuana. Well, yeah, because they'd get arrested in your state, but I've been to plenty of wedding receptions and plenty of events where marijuana smoking is the norm, and in fact, no alcohol is there at all.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
And it's plenty social.
Yeah, and those are actually the more friendly parties.
And it's plenty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
This is that culture thing that we have to attack now. And I think one of the best ways we attack it, and this is why, you know, I had a long, you know, as I was starting to shape this show and starting to put everything together and thinking forward about where I wanted my career to go, I had to seriously think about, one, would I wear the hat? And two, would I smoke on camera? And I decided to do both, obviously. And part of that is number one, I like to wear the hat because it's got the pot leaf on it and it's made of hemp. So number two, I'm bald, so it's just easier. And number three is that as a middle-aged white guy, middle-aged, fairly well-educated white guy, my chances of getting busted or recognized for my pot use are fairly low. But if I got a pot leaf right there smack dab in the middle of my forehead, maybe I get a sliver of an inkling of a taste of what a black kid in Harlem gets being eyed by the cops, being eyed by everybody for who he is and what he's doing. This is where, and with the smoking on camera, that's where it has to go. That's what speaks to this idea of the, you know, you're smoking pot to get high, but you're drinking just to be social. I smoke pot on camera to show that I can, that it's doable, that here's a guy who's talking to you, who's being fairly rational and bringing you facts and logic and information and running a control board and a computer all at once, is smoking pot while he's doing that. Well, gee, maybe this pot thing isn't the, you know, turning it into a zombie glued to the couch kind of thing that they've always told us it was. So maybe in doing making those two decisions, it's closed off certain avenues to me. Maybe that's possible. But I decided also that, you know, there's lots of guys in the movement who are the clean cut wearing the suit guys. And there's also lots of people in the movement who are the long haired, dreadlocked, pierced, tattooed people. And I thought maybe I would be somewhere between those, maybe a bridge between the suits and the tie dyes. So I hope I'm accomplishing that. I hope I'm getting to a point where we can speak for the vast different parts of the movement we have, from the MBA executives with the suit and ties to the earth growers, the organic vegan earth grower types, to, you know, just the people who like to get high, to the average everyday working people who smoke pot instead of drinking. That's what we're doing here, and that's what this is all about, and I'm so glad you're a part of it.
We can be different as long as we all got the same goal.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Leftwing Larry will rejoin us, and we'll have more stories to talk about here on Toker Talk Radio. We're also taking your calls if you got something to say. It's 971-533-7111.
You cut people, you smoke trees till you get what you need now. Designer drugs and minted smokes to get through the day. You always get them so high.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisements because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Let him bring in the beat. Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant, high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
Let him bring in the beat.
Support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420.
In the afternoon, if I'm home, I smoke marijuana.
You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
Oh, marijuana. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I got my ganja.
420 Radio, freeing your mind 24 hours a day.
Almost busted in Laredo, but for reasons that I'd rather not disclose.
I smoke pot, and I like it a lot. Hi, this is Willie Nelson. I learned a long time ago that marijuana is a lot safer to use than alcohol. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the responsible use of marijuana by adults. It's time we stopped arresting and started respecting responsible marijuana smokers in America. And to learn what you can do to help, please contact NORML at www.norml.org or call toll-free at 888-67-NORMAL.
The show was long and we were just sitting there, and we'd come to play and not just for the ride.
Oh my goodness, that Church of Misery with Soul Discharge. Oh my goodness. I feel like I have to wash after saying that.
Church of Misery, that's like, a wedding chapel, right? Oh.
Which... All right, so anyway, you'll hear some of this music on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, every Friday night here on 420radio.org. So welcome back. We're bringing Leftwing Larry back into us. Can you hear us now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine.
I just the wrong headphones.
I hung the headphones over here and put on another set.
We got too many headphones. I think we do have like one pair of headphones more than we have mic headphone jacks, so that might have been what it did.
Oh, okay.
All right, so welcome back. It's apparently it's 7:10 here in the studio.
Yeah, I got a
yes, it is.
Nice little slick disc here with some gooey shatter here.
Yeah,
actually,
we go.
I don't know if this would be shatter. This is more of a.
Yep. So it is Friday, and we're coming up to only 20 minutes left in the show. So we are at the point where we can take dabs. It is Friday, after all, and Valentine's Day as well. So happy Valentine's Day to our listeners.
As the pot.
This is the Mendo Perks.
Mendo Perks.
Very nice.
I wanted to also point out that there was a story that came, it's been repeated by a few news outlets about how marijuana is starting to decide governors' races.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw something about that on MSNBC, I think.
That was the one. Yeah, they talked about this on MSNBC, and yes? Florida. Yes, exactly. Well, that's just exactly where I was going to go. There's a few places here where they're starting to discuss medical marijuana, and it's just so nice that this is becoming something that the governors are having to endorse and compete with each other to endorse. It's much like when we had the King County sheriff's election. They were both fighting over who supported I-502 more.
Right.
So you got Florida. Florida's got medical marijuana on the ballot, and the former governor is Charlie Crist, and he used to be a Republican. And then 2 years into his term, he became an independent. And then after he lost his election to the current governor, Rick Scott, he then he's now become a Democrat. And he was on Real Time with Bill Maher a week ago and discussed this. And it was the same line I've heard from a few of them. They said, I didn't leave the Republican Party. The Republican Party left me.
Nah.
That, my views are now liberal in the Republican Party, so he's remaking himself and Maher kind of called him on and says, you really just want to be in office, no matter what party you are. But so he's running as a Democrat, and he's given full-throated support to medical marijuana. Now, his boss is Orlando attorney John Morgan. John Morgan is his big campaign financer and Charlie Crist's boss at this point from the law firm that he works with. And John Morgan is also the man that put $4 million into getting medical marijuana on the ballot in Florida. And of course, the theory is you put medical marijuana on the ballot, you get more progressive, more liberal voters who will then support the governor candidate who supports medical marijuana. So the Republicans in Florida tried to stop this. Attorney General Pam Bondi filed a challenge to the language. Supreme Court, rejected that. But they know, Bondi knows it and Rick Scott knows it, that this is going to bring a wave of blue voters, and he's probably going to lose.
And but there's another development in Florida.
Yes.
The legislature has introduced a medical marijuana bill, trying to head off the constitutional amendment, and it, I know, has grow in it.
Yes.
It does.
Yes, and that would be, this is something else that you have to think about, too, as a legislature, is they look out and see, oh, my God, this initiative is going to pass. And I'm no expert on Florida law, but I've studied some of these initiative states, and usually in these initiative states, when the people pass an initiative, the legislature can't monkey with it. They can't monkey with it. The people have to vote some change to it. And when we're talking about a constitutional amendment, they definitely can't change it, right? That's why Colorado's as a constitutional amendment is such a big deal. So I think these legislators recognize that when this is on the ballot and it passes, it goes into the Constitution. They can't do anything about it. They can't change anything about it. So let's pass our own thing, make it look real nice for all the voters, and then they don't have to vote for medical marijuana in the fall, or it loses some support. Hopefully it loses. Now we've got this law we've passed, but it's legislative, so we can play with it. We can change things.
We can screw
control
it up.
Yeah, exactly.
We can do away with homegrown.
Yeah, or restrict it, or have all sorts of regulations on it. Yeah. So that's one of the states. We got Florida in play. But we just had Texas. Wendy Davis, who was the woman who did what they called the sneaker filibuster. She wore her pink sneakers and did a real actual filibuster, standing on her feet, because Texas law is all sorts of weird about what they can do with their filibusters. Right. They can't take a seat, can't go to bathroom breaks or whatever it was. It was just really strict. She did her filibuster they were trying to do some rollback of abortion rights. And she did her filibuster for like 11 hours or something like that. And she gained national attention and became a big rising star. And now she's running for governor of Texas. She's come out with a support for medical marijuana.
Right.
In Texas.
In Texas.
Bobby Jindal, the governor of Louisiana, has recently come out and said, no, I would support it if it were really, well-regulated.
Well-regulated and real restricted, like New Jersey's.
Yeah. In Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's got a guy running, John Hanger, running for governor. There's like 8 Democrats that are running. The current governor is Tom Corbett, I'm not sure which way it's pronounced. And he's on the way out. I don't know if it's a term limit thing. He's not running again, whatever. But there's like 8 Democrats that are trying to, running in the Democratic Party. John Hanger has come out in support of legalization. He's saying that we should just legalize it.
All right.
they had this debate, and there was like 8 of them, on the stage, and they asked, do you support legalization, or what is your stand on marijuana, or whatever the question was. And John Hanger, of course, said, I support full legalization. A second one said, I think we should look at legalization, but I'd like to see how things turn out in Colorado and Washington. 4 more said, I support medical marijuana and the decriminalization of personal use. And there was like, was that say 4 more? But, well, no, it's 5 more. Right. Yeah. There's 5 that were for medical marijuana and decrim. 1 that was limited, wasn't sure about legalization, but would look at it. 1 who's definitely for legalization. There was just 1 of these Democratic candidates who was not for medical marijuana or decriminalization. And her objection to medical marijuana is that medicines are to be regulated by the FCC. So
FCC, right.
Yeah. Like, what? You're running for governor? All right.
Really?
All right.
By the FCC, huh?
So we've got...
That's a quote, too, by the way.
That was a beautiful thing. So
we got to get that soundbite. If somebody out there has that soundbite, send it to Russ at radicalruss.com.
Yeah. So we've got Pennsylvania in the mix. In... is it Maryland? Missouri. What's her name? Heather Missouri, Mizeur. Heather Missouri, yes. She's running for governor in Maryland. There we go. She's a former member, or she is a member of the Maryland House of Delegates. She's come out in favor of medical marijuana, I believe. Let me make sure about that before I misquote, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, marijuana legalization. Heather Missouri for governor. And she's got a page on it. She wants to legalize a comprehensive plan to legalize and regulate marijuana in Maryland. Marijuana's time as a controlled illegal substance has run its course. Marijuana laws ruin lives, are enforced with racial bias, and distract law enforcement from serious and violent crimes. Marijuana criminalization costs our state hundreds of millions of dollars every year without making us any safer. A Maryland with legalized, regulated, and taxed marijuana will mean safer communities, universal early childhood education, and fewer citizens unnecessarily exposed to our criminal justice system. Well, well, well.
It makes me want to cry almost. It's like, I'm so happy, and it's just right up there on the net.
There they are. Yeah, people that are openly
awesome.
I mean, you used to have candidates that, like, if you pressed them in a debate, would give you throw a bone here and there,
a crumb
of some sort of reform. Yeah. But it wasn't a platform plank on their website. It wasn't
saying, "Hey, this is our plan. This is part of our, that's awesome.
This is what I will do if elected your governor."
Yeah, and that's this is where we can really, as activists, pat ourselves on the back as far as raising the awareness of this issue and fighting against all odds and all stereotypes and all the pot puns and the tee-hees and the giggles, coming out and showing this is a serious issue that people will respond to. And it's not going to take down any of the, it's not going to take anyone down in their political career. And hemp is also one of these things that's getting a lot of play. We've got Republicans in the U.S. Senate. You got Mitch McConnell. You got Rand Paul. And you always had, Ron Paul in the House for a long time. But, coming right out and saying, it's time to legalize industrial hemp. Of course, they're senators from Kentucky. Kentucky can make a lot of money on industrial hemp.
Oh.
That would be really...
You drive into Kentucky on any main highway, the first thing you'll see is a historical marker, and it will say, Kentucky, hemp capital of the world.
Yeah, and it can be again. And some of these people, some of these places are very economically disadvantaged at this point, and we need a cash crop. We need a growing industry.
They say that it grows best in a river, lowlands next to a river, and Kentucky is rife with rivers.
Yep, that's absolutely right, and that's something we also look forward to is the reintroduction of the American hemp crop that has been a part of our history since 1611.
Exactly.
1611, over 400 years, and only during 75 of them, well, actually less than that because you had the Hemp for Victory campaign, so over 60-ish of 400 years, hemp's been illegal in this country. It's not illegal in any other industrialized society on the planet. For some reason, the cops in all the other countries can tell the difference between a short, bushy pot plant and a tall, reedy hemp plant. They're nothing alike. Making hemp illegal because it looks like marijuana is like making powdered sugar illegal because it looks like cocaine. It makes no sense whatsoever. All right.
I love that quote, by the way.
Thank you. We got to take a break, and when we come back, our last segment of the week, and a look forward to next week, plus some events coming up we'll tell you about. And I guess that'll be about it. Maybe. Oh, I got to have a dab. That's right.
Yeah,
I gotta have a dab. All right.
We all need a dab.
We'll be back.
We all need a dab.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Cast your eyes up to the skies. What is it to live and die? Calculated stars and lights.
Marijuana and alcohol are the two most popular recreational drugs in America. Marijuana smoking is non-toxic, relatively safe, and has a low risk of dependence. Alcohol drinking is potentially fatal, dangerous to society, and is quite addictive. Marijuana is safer, so why are we driving people to drink? That's the question of the new book, Marijuana is Safer, So Why Are We Driving People to Drink? By Paul Armentano, Mason Tvert, and Steve Fox. Visit Amazon.com or ChelseaGreen.com today to order your copy of Marijuana is Safer, or visit MarijuanaIsSafer.com.
Fun.
What's happening, cool cats? This is Big Daddy, and I want you to cruise on over to the Funky Roller Rink. We'll be grooving all night long.
I like it.
Doors open at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, every Thursday night.
Funky, delicious.
Georgia.
Hi, this is Willie Nelson, and I need your help. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 20s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stop arresting law-abiding citizens because they prefer marijuana over alcohol. Nearly 2,000 Americans are arrested every day on marijuana charges. We're unfairly destroying the lives and careers of hundreds of thousands of people each year simply because they smoke marijuana. These are not criminals. They're average citizens like you, good neighbors who work hard, raise families, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities. We need your help to end marijuana prohibition once and for all. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
Welcome back. It's Toker Talk Radio, and that's the Glenn Miller Orchestra with the St. Louis Blues March. I love this music. I was in the Army band. A lot of people, if you don't know, may not know that I was a soldier. I was a citizen soldier. I was in the National Guard. And I was in the National Guard band, so it's not like, there's any chance of me taking a bullet. Not only I was in the National Guard band, I was in the National Guard band between 1985 and 1990, which is like after Grenada and Panama, before Gulf War, like when we didn't invade anybody.
Jack shit was happening.
There was like a whole 6-year period in the 80s where we didn't kick anyone's ass.
The 90s.
No, 85 to 90.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I was in the National Guard Band, the Idaho National Guard Band, and for tunes like this, I was in the concert orchestra. We had like this, we had a big band, right? And I'm playing the bass, it's electric bass, but... So all this stuff is like, familiar music to me. I love St. Louis Blues March, right? Mm-hmm. Played the hell out of this tune.
Yeah, that's what I thought my 4 years in the military was going to be.
Band?
No, just all training.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Bam.
Turn out that way.
Step foot on bass, sirens blare.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the time you're born, I guess. I was born on the day of the Tet Offensive in Vietnam.
See, I was already discharged by that time.
You were out by Tet?
Yeah, I had a buddy who was there during Tet. And he told me, he says, Larry, that was war.
That was war. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're listening to Toker Talk Radio. We're just hanging out here, done a dab or two, and winding up the weekend. But before we go, I want to remind you, coming up next is the Jody Emery Show, and it was just Mark Emery's birthday, by the way. I think it was yesterday. It was Mark Emery's birthday. The last birthday he will have to spend in prison.
Yes,
so
congratulations.
We are very happy about that.
I think he's under 75 days now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Be home this summer. And I hope to go up to Vancouver and visit him and Jody. That would be wonderful.
I'd like to go too.
Yeah. And coming up later tonight, so Jody Emery at 5. We've got replays of these 2 hours at 6 and 7. Coming up at 8 o'clock and 8 to 10, we've got the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. From 10 to midnight, 2 hours of Big Daddy Fink's Funky Roller Rink. From midnight to 2 hours of Red Eyes Reggae Flashback. And then from 2 to 3, I think it's just 1 hour of the Viper Hour. Something like that. Anyway, there's music. Starting at 8 o'clock, lots of music.
Lots of music for you.
Music
Our
for you.
cannabis community.
Yep, and there's some gigs coming up I need to tell you about. I will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2 weeks on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So Minneapolis, Minnesota, they're having a Minnesota Normal event that I'll be a part of. I'm not exactly sure what the event is, but I will be there. And then there will be in March 22nd is the Southern Cannabis Reform Conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'll be in Atlanta in March. Then we've got the Oregon Marijuana Business Conference in Eugene, March 30th and 31st, which is weird. A Sunday and a Monday. I really don't think he's got the dates right on that, but all right, Sunday and Monday, we'll see. And then, of course, 420, which will be on a weekend. It's Sunday. In fact, 420 is Easter Sunday this year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's happened before.
It has happened before.
Yeah.
But
that's road trip weekend.
That's right. We're actually going to road trip there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming along.
Where to?
To Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Take Larry's car.
I'm down.
Yeah. We're going to see if we're going to ask Cannabis Carrie if she wants to go too. She's got a friend in Denver.
Cool.
So perhaps we will have a crew in Denver for the Cannabis Cup there on 420. Then on the first weekend of May, Saturday, May 5th, is the Global Cannabis March. So that's your look forward at some of the events that we will be covering here on 420 Radio, both video and audio. Everything will be archived on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Radical Russ. In fact, you can find me as Radical Russ on just about everything out there, except Instagram. I'm RB Show 420. Hey. That's all. That's all we got. Oh, and by the way, our friend Ron Funchess was on Conan last night. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He's going to be on a couple of things coming up.
Yeah. Ron's doing great. At Ron Funchess.
He's a hilarious guy.
Yeah.
Big up.
All right, so that's all the time we got for today and for this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with more shows for you, news and interviews you can use for the cannabis community.
And tonight for Herb Thrasher Flower
Hour. That's right.
Special Valentine's edition.
Valentine's edition of Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Probably your best hair metal ballads or something. Hey, thanks for being a part of this. Join us. Become a VIP if you can. Help support the station. For Brian the Red and Leftwing Larry, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it,